What's up, guys? It's your boy Matt Arrington, also known as Mr. No Offense to Some. I'm actually out here with another network member, my guy, uh, Peach, President Peach. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna switch it over so you guys can see him in a second. I did not switch over. Hold on. All right. We're actually here to interview with Saro'S Treats today, man. We got an opportunity to meet Saro'S at the Dankfest 2023 that we went to on 420. We got an opportunity to taste some of his cooking. It was amazing. And we knew at that moment we had to know more about him and his organization as to what he stood for. So we have arranged an in-person interview we're getting ready to do with Saro'S. We're going to get to know him today. And when you guys check this out, make sure that you hit him up and get some of that awesome food, man. I'm telling you, he might mention it today, but you can really taste the love for sure. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Hey, excuse me. Could I have just a moment of your time? No offense, but I want to get to know the real you. Like, the real you. No offense. No offense, if you have a moment, I would like to get to know the real you. The real you. No offense. The real you. The real you. No offense.
So we're going to go inside to get to know my guy Eric. You know what I'm saying? From Saro'S Streets. If you're looking and you're in the area, these are the doors you need to walk through to get some magic. And as promised, we're here with Eric Seitz to learn more about Saro'S Sweets.
Yeah.
So, like I said before, we had the opportunity to meet him at Dankfest 2023. This man's hands are blessed, man. For real. You know me. When I taste something good, man, I'm going all out for it, man. The apple pie, I absolutely recommend. I'm not leaving here without it. You know what I'm saying? So, but we definitely want to get to know the mind behind the man. So, without further ado, I definitely appreciate you for your time.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, brother. We're gonna get to know about you. I always like to start every story from the beginning if we can. I feel like every great story needs that foundation, set. Yeah. So, let's start. We know with yours. Were you born and raised here in the Valley, or?
Yeah, so I was born in Brownsville, Texas, ever since I was born. And from there, man, I was always into sports and stuff like that. And I always thought that that's what was going to happen. And then also from there, I have a family from my mom and my dad's side that most of them are musicians. So before I was doing the treats, I was also a musician too. So I was doing a lot of touring, going here from there, and life and God decided, hey, well, you know what? It's time to trade in the bass for some Betty Crocker type stuff.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Actually, I think I got an opportunity to see you playing the bass on one of your Instagram posts or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like for a church. I was like, dude, he's over there getting down, man. I can tell he knows what he's doing. Was the bass your first instrument, or?
No. So the first instrument was actually the drums. My father and my dad and my dad's side of the family. They're mostly bass players. My mom's side is mostly drummers. So I was influenced by one of my uncles because he's actually a famous drummer for a band called Bobby Pulido. They're like a Tejano band.
Gotcha.
A lot of people know who Bobby Pulido is. So the fact that he was drumming with him and I would go with him in tours and stuff, practically how I started doing the drums. But then I ended up picking up the bass and I fell in love with the bass even more. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's been awesome, man. The fact doing the music and stuff like that, and then recently getting back into it, I feel like now it's more like a hobby. How there's people who like to do meditations or they do certain things after doing what they're doing. Well, after baking, that's my thing. It's just jamming out.
Your therapy kind of mind of the day. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Sure.
Good tunes and good vibes, brother. Definitely. When did you discover that you had this talent to bake, man?
I think it had to started once that whole music thing was going on. Only because we were traveling a lot to Mexico. We would travel to everywhere from San Luis in Mexico, from like, I mean, Monterrey. And every time we would go, there was always a section in the band where most of them were party people, and then the other ones were just chilling, smoking, whatever it was. And I was the one that was smoking, but mostly like, well, let's go eat somewhere, or let's go here, let's go there, you know. So we had this one cat that was always, you know, every time we would go over there, he was like our tour guide. Like he was the one making sure that everybody was taken care of. If they needed food, if they needed like a place to stay, like they'll pay for it. Like it was like one of those type of guys. And so every time I would go there, we ended up becoming close only because we would hang out mostly over there. So he would show me all the restaurants. And I started getting really into the food side. And I saw this old lady this one time, man, and she was baking. Like she was doing bread from scratch, doing a lot of stuff. And something about it got me so mesmerized that I was like, I feel like I need to see what she's doing, because I feel like in the future wise, this is going to end up being something that I might want to do. And sure enough, man, my dad got sick. He was retaining a lot of water. He's a diabetic too. And so from there, man, like I didn't know what to do. I had to quit 2 of my jobs. And my wife was like, well, hey, like, if you have to be closer to your dad, like, why don't you start doing baking stuff, you know? Like, why don't you bake cookies or something? And then I was like, well, no, that's true, because we had to get funds from my dad because he wasn't able to work anymore. So that's practically how I started baking, man. Started off with a fundraiser. I was doing a bunch of treats, and then I got so into it that I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can do this as a, you know,
as a profession. Dude, I'm sad about the circumstances that brought you to it, but I'm glad that you did discover it, because brother, just like I know that you say a lot. You like to taste the love. You want to make sure you taste the love. Speaking of which, I want to say, hey.
Yeah, this is my little one. He's always with me ever since, like with the baking side. He's like the youngest one and stuff.
He's picking up all that knowledge from dad. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all. So when you first started baking and things like that, were there certain obstacles that you weren't expecting? Because I know, like, when we hop into something new, we're like, let's do it, and then that's usually when you find out, I need this or I need that halfway in the middle. Did you find yourself running into situations like that, or was it pretty much all natural?
Around that time that the baking was going on, we really didn't know whether we should do something big or not. And around that time, we ended up meeting my business partner. His name is Jesse Gonzalez. He's the one that has a CBD shop. Yeah. So when I first started doing it, man, he gave me the idea of, hey, your treats are amazing, but what if we infuse them with CBD and stuff like that? Because at that time, CBD wasn't really good. And my father was taking CBD to help him, actually. So, doing that was really great. And then we found out that my wife was pregnant. So there was always a lot of step backs. It was always with the kids, for sure, thinking that we weren't going to be able to handle it. And that time, working by myself and, working by ourselves and our own bosses, we had to practically get the money, So if we bake like a ton of cookies or whatever, like that's the money that we have, because I wasn't working at that time. So that was one of the setbacks, thinking that it was the kids, but then not really. And then when I was in business with my business partner, it seemed that, it was good, but it always seemed that it was never going to go forward, because every time something would like show a positive light on it, something ended up backing up, whether it was the fact that either I had to go do something else, we were busy with events, he was working at the time and stuff like that. So it never seemed like a settled baking side that I finally have a kitchen, type of thing. There was always a lot of setbacks, but from that, man, the next day I would wake up with positive, only because I would wake up to like customers hitting me up. So there'd be days where I wake up and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just stop. Like, this is not going the way I wanted to. It's not moving fast as I wanted to. And sure enough, man, every time I would have that negative, somebody will always message me. There was always that one message or 2 messages, 3 messages, and it's always like, man, like, ate your treats today, man, and they were so great, and a lot of positive to where I was like, you know what, like, okay, there's no way I'm stopping now. So,
bro, I don't know if you could tell from looking at me, people, what I'm saying, me and food have a great relationship, what I'm saying. I can say definitely that having tasted your treats at the event, brother, again, I'm gonna say me and food have a great relationship, but I almost got remarried that day. You know what I'm saying? It was your food is phenomenal. You can tell you definitely bake with love. We are as far as your father, how is he doing? Is he doing better? You know.
So my dad actually passed away around October the 20th of last year. So when that happened, man, I just felt it. Like it was months before, you know, when he finally was able to pass. It was almost like I was prepping myself. Because ever since starting the baking, I was there 24/7 with him. Everything I would make, I would give it to him, you know. And then that was a time that I had my little ones coming out. So my wife would be like, "Hey, you need to chill because we have to start saving money for that." But yeah, when he passed, man, like I was hurt, but I was already. It was almost like if it was prepping me that, you know, what's about to come. But because of that, is the reason why I have my business now, and this is like my solo business with just me, myself, and my family, and that's why we called it Saro'S, was because I felt like, you know what, like when my dad was here, that was the reason why, you know, I would bake. He would push me to keep baking, and anytime I had like that negative mindset, just like when people would send me messages, he would tell me not to stop. He was always telling me what to do, so it just felt right, and I felt like life and God in general, whoever's in charge of this earth, man, whether somebody believes in God or not, which I do, but it almost seemed like they were like, this is not going to work, and I feel like you have to do this. Because as soon as my dad passed, this happened, and I started seeing this moving faster than what I was doing before. The fact that the kitchen came out, now I'm doing it, now it's just me, myself, and I, but it's always been like that, or that's how I've always felt. So.
Well, brother, I can definitely tell you, you know, you are the one putting in the work as far as reading yourself and not. But it's not that anybody who takes your food, brother, like unless they are just having, no offense, the shittiest of days. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's day changing. You know what I'm saying? Me and my good friend Peach here, we talked about your food all the way up here. We were like, it's definitely the message that you're spreading, the love that you're spreading, whether you know or not, it's definitely changing lives, brother. And definitely continue to do it. As far as where do you want to see Saro'S as far as in its heights? Because we do know the humble beginnings, and we do know what it means to you. But where would you like to see this, you know, in its prime, if you're able to?
Man, I just want. What I see is Saro'S having not one, not two, not three, not four, but maybe around like 10 Saro'S around like Texas. You know, and Texas is an area that I've never felt that I was able to get something good out of it. You know, there was always that friends that you would be like, you have to move out of Texas if you want to do anything. And I was always that type that I felt like, nah, I feel like it's here, you know, like I feel like I have to be here. So just knowing, like, I can feel it. There's a vision that I've always been having. Every day I wake up, I always got to tell myself, like, hey, you know, like this is going to get bigger, it's going to get better. So what I want to see is more Saro'S in corners. I want to see Saro'S like almost like gas stations, but like, you know, it's like a little bit smaller, just so people can just go get some treats, coffee, whatever it is that they want. And you know, like I've always been into like the CBD stuff, you know, like I never not like CBD. So maybe even in the future side, you know, I'll put some of the CBD stuff for now. But there's a lot of visions that I see, man. And I see like more than one Saro'S for sure.
Man, that would make our day. Especially, we just came from Harlingen, brother. You get a Saro'S up there, man. We're gonna definitely keep it moving.
Oh, dude, and it's gonna happen. I do see that happening because that's where I want. I want Saro'S. And
some more goodness ready
right
there.
Yeah, well, this is more of the brownies they're coming out.
Wow.
And but I do see Saro'S coming like from Brownsville. I do want some in Harlingen. I do want in McAllen. I do want like around the valley for sure. And then hopefully future-wise, you know, if everything goes great, I do see myself in San Antonio. I keep saying that all the time though, ever since last year, and only because I've had a few customers coming from San Antonio. And they would buy stuff from me, and then they would like tell me like, I don't know when, I don't know if it's gonna happen, I don't know if you need like people or if you need like, you know, help or whatever, but we need to move this fucking quick because we need you to come over here to San Antonio.
Facts.
And so like there's always people telling me like it's gonna happen and stuff, and you know maybe it might move faster when it comes to like investors and stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm just going with life right now, but I do see myself in San Antonio for sure. And I feel like that would be like maybe the last store or maybe like the middle of the store, like maybe like after two Saro'S or whatever.
Is that where you like want to move like the headquarters? Like is that like a
No, man, I want to keep it here.
Definitely here.
But I do want to have a Saro'S over there because I feel like, again, like when I started baking, man, this one has been crazy. The fact that I didn't even know how to like do anything, you know, like I didn't know how to do a simple breading. I didn't know how to do conchas. The fact that people were telling me to do conchas, I was like, how the hell am I going to do that? But the fact that I was going to Mexico, you know, and watching and seeing people do it and the love for it, which just came naturally to me. Like I was able to do all of that. And it's been amazing, man. It's been really great.
Well, they say if you do what you love, it's not even work. So I'm hoping that all comes together in any kind of way that we can help, brother. We definitely gonna share the word. I'm not gonna share my apple pie though. Don't ask me for it. You know what I'm saying? While I'm here, you see me. So for those of you who are asking, how can I get my hands on Saro'S treats? Listen, I got the man right here. We're gonna find out right now. I'm gonna tell you where you can't. Don't ask me to share mine because it's too good. But if we're in the area, I'll definitely come by and see him. You know what I'm saying? So I can pick it up to you. Or does he ship? Let's find out. How can they get those from?
So there is optional when it comes to shipping because the fact that right now, since I am doing this solo key, I have to find people now. Now this is where the workers are gonna have to come in, and we'll start doing delivery ASAP. But I could ship if I have to mail it, I can. But if anybody wants to be able to come get the treats fresh or anything like that, it is gonna be on 3341 COUNSEL Suite V. So right now I have my treats where if by any chance if we're closed here or anything, well, there is another one in North Park Plaza. The address on that one is going to be, I think, 2900 Frontage Road, which is going to be right where the old Globe was at in Brownsville. There's going to be an ice cream called Rolling H&E where you can go pick up. So it's just like over here on Public Cell. It's going to be an ice cream shop. You can pick all my treats here. Also, right now, I am in talks with Gallo Negro here in Brownsville, and maybe for some other shops that are opening in the future as well, because I know they are going to be opening on Ruben Torres in Brownsville and then in McAllen. So we're going to either have our brownies and cake stuff there, or whether it's going to be brownies and cookies, whatever it's going to be, but it's going to be around. But other than that, you can hit me up on Saro'S Treats on Facebook. I also have my personal one, which became my business. I don't know, a lot of people just tend to not go to my business and at all and just be like, you know what, let me directly message this guy and his personal one. So I ended up using my personal as the business, and that's where I, to this day, download, put everything up having to do with Saro'S. So there you can tell me too. If you're in Harlingen, McAllen, we could try to do meetups, but I don't like doing it. I used to not do it, but it has to be a certain amount in order for me to be able to go over there because the gas is not cheap. And then the fact that I am doing this myself right now because I just got the kitchen, don't have anybody doing deliveries for me, so it would have to be a good amount in order for me to meet over there or halfway, whatever it is. But other than that, it's also Saro'S Treats on Facebook, Eric Signs, which is ERIC, last name Signs, SAENZ, Facebook. You're going to see the logo of the Saro'S Treats. Instagram, Saro'S Treats as well. And then on TikTok, we do have Saro'S Treats. Just follow us and just let me know.
Definitely. And listen, if you guys know me, if I'm heading down to Brownsville, all jokes aside, buy me an apple pie and I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, so that's funny that you're bringing up the apple pie. I mean, that's customers' favorite now. It's because I had this one time I was with a friend and we were all talking about the best pies. My best pie or my favorite pie was between apple pie and pecan pie. That's one of my two favorites. So with the apple pie, I've always felt like depending on the pie, like the crust can be not good or anything like that. But I was like, what if it's the opposite? Like, instead of us focusing on the crust, why don't we focus on the top layering? Like, I feel like my favorite apple pie is when the top is just nice and crisp. So, just put some like ice cream on top of that, let it melt, add some caramel, and that's the best pie ever. So on this one, I wanted to do it between a apple pie and a cheesecake, only because of the fact that I feel like with those two things, it just makes the apples just pop. With the brown sugar and then the cinnamon and all of that, just makes it so much better. So Yeah, so this is actually called apple crisp cake slices. So the crisp is on the top layering. So instead of focusing on the bottom layering, it's top layering. So once you get that, you eat it, you're just hits you in the mouth.
Man.
Yeah, instantly. So
all I know, bro, is he just broke down the science of apple pie. Listen, when I ate that thing, my gosh, you don't understand. Like, oh man, I'm originally from Florida. I've spent the first 25 years of my life in Florida. So over here, I'm still kind of getting used to the food and things like that. It's just so different on the cook. But man, when I had your apple pie, I was like, if I don't go back home in a minute, I'll be okay. As long as I can get this apple pie, man. Like you definitely got it. Not only that, I think we had a chance to taste your brownies. Bro, everything that you had to offer, that we had an opportunity to have over at Dinkfest, bro, A1. Y'all know me, no offense, I wouldn't lie to you. You know, I'm just gonna be real. So I definitely appreciate you going into this industry, putting your love into what you do.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's very obvious when you taste the food, just your personality. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think a lot of people will be able to relate to. And man, after they taste it, man, so all you gotta do is eat. All you gotta do is try a little bit of it. I promise you, you're on the bandwagon,
dude. And that's the thing, man. We always try to like do that, and I haven't done it. But I think I'm gonna start doing free samples and stuff like that for a lot of things, only because a lot of people keep asking, and they are skeptical sometimes. So when I do events or anything like that, they're like, "I want to buy it, but I want to try it," and you know, like sometimes I'm like, "Well, if you need to try it, you gotta buy it."
Facts.
But there is people that are really like wanting to see if okay, well, I'll spend it. So let me buy it.
I will definitely. You got my stamp of approval. It's good. It's great. It's awesome. It's bleeping awesome. You know what I'm saying? For real. So with that being said, I definitely appreciate you today, Eric, giving us the time to get to know you, brother.
Of course.
Get to know your brand. Is there a menu online or something like that where they can find?
So right now I'm actually working on a menu. I do have somebody helping me out on that. They should be getting back to me very soon, maybe hopefully on Friday. We are working on a menu though, only because I keep doing so many different things that I even had to like calm down. So just yesterday, I ended up throwing down on a crazy cookie for a summer cookie. It's called mango nada cookie, which is mango with chamoy and tahini on top of the cookie. And a lot of people tripped out on that. So I did have some few testers, and they were just laughing hysterically like, this is crazy. Like, so that has been customers' favorite right now. Just getting ready for the summer too. So there's a lot of crazy ones, and that's because they're not going to be in the menu. Only because like I'm just like that. Like if we have a menu or something, it's always going to change. Like nothing's going to be the same. And if there is, it's because we had to make it into a staple, which apple crisp cake is going to be there. The brownies, all different types are going to be there. Cookies are going to be there. The simple ones that people like. But again, you get like a crazy one like mango nada, and the pistachio craze one, and then I do have a cotton candy with strawberry coming out, and then a pineapple one. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. So,
yeah, I gotta stay away from you. They gonna have to roll me out here. You know what I'm saying? But until the next time we're able to sit down, which I mean, after I take this pie home, you might see me tomorrow. But until the next time, Eric, it's definitely been my pleasure.
Yeah, man, thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity. Y'all make sure to catch my guy in the next No Offense magazine, which will come out June 15, 2023. So be on the lookout for that, as well as we'll have it on our webpage with this information so that you can get in touch with him and get some of that fantastic cooking, man. Until the next time, y'all be easy, man. I've been Mr. No Offense. He's been Eric. And you've been awesome.
Thank you, guys.